What's up? We back. It's Kane and Jake on the couch today. We got my friend Kai, and he's not gay. We're talking to each other about dance. We're not even living in France, and it's so sunny. Okay. I like honey. Yum, yum, yummy.
Oh, you got bars.
Yeah.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Bieber made a whole song about it. Go on, laugh now.
All right.
Yeah.
Was it a good song though?
Because I like it.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Why?
I just didn't like it.
You're a hater.
I'm not a hater. I choreographed Justin Bieber this morning.
Ooh, this morning?
This morning.
It's 10 o'clock.
I woke up, I got a coffee, went to the studio, choreographed, came back, sat in the studio.
What Bieber song?
Love You Different. You've choreographed as well.
Okay.
Yeah. You best not bit my moves.
No, I
Best
can't
not
even
bit-
remember it.
You bite my musicality.
No. This is not, well,
Did you do the same part of the song?
I did the
Bite her, because I've done the whole song.
Trick question, man.
What's up, Kai?
You good?
Yeah, man. We got Happy Feet himself.
That's me.
The tap dancing goat.
Yup.
The youngest goat there is that I know anyway.
Oh, okay.
That's why I named you that. What, like 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
I think so. Like
The
COVID.
young
COVID
goat.
time,
Yeah, because we did a podcast in COVID.
on Skype. It wasn't even on Zoom. No, it was on Skype.
Was it?
Before Zoom.
Skype.
Let's
go.
You DM me. I was like, "Have you got a Skype account?" I was like, "No." You
Damn,
like, get Skype.
That was the early stages
Yeah.
of COVID. Yeah, we were talking earlier about like, imagine having to go back on Zoom.
Oh, dude.
That was like, that's my worst nightmare. Twos. He goes, my mum still does it.
Yeah.
Does she?
Yeah.
Who's she teaching to? Just like people across the country?
No, yeah, we have like she decided to create like an online group, so like people that don't want to necessarily travel
Right.
to their tap attack location. She
you know-
does it like once a month.
You know what some people are doing is they're recording their live streaming the classes they teach. Is
Yeah.
she doing that, or is she doing like
No,
another
she
class
like
at
does
home?
it separately at home. So
Right.
our normal sessions are just normal, unless if like we did like some sessions where if someone had COVID, they would come on in the corner of the room. But other than that,
Right.
she does like a separate session for online people.
Your mum's like, it's quite a big company, Tap Attack, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's like 300 people now, and especially
It's
like
a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
especially when we did like 2 years on Zoom. The fact we still have that many people,
Yeah,
is kind
they-
of they didn't get bored, which is a surprise. I would have got bored probably.
So is that how you got into tap?
What
Was it-
tap attack?
Well,
Oh, well, from my mum,
yeah.
Obviously, like being surrounded by it at a young age, it's like what you're exposed to is kind of what you enjoy. And I thought it was weird that other kids at like my primary school didn't dance. I thought that was just a normal thing.
Just a normal thing,
'cause
really?
obviously- Yeah, like when
That's
you're
jokes.
like when you're brought up around something, you think that's a normality. And then for me to then kind of get there and be like, oh, so what dance style does your mum do? And they're like, no. I remember I was
Pole
so
dancing.
shocked.
That's only your mum, Kane.
But I remember I was so shocked by that. And then, yeah, I wasn't really interested in it though, to be honest. Like
You weren't interested in tap?
I played like football and stuff like that. And then,
Like a real boy.
yeah. And
Me
then,
too. Respect.
and then I obviously changed my mind. I think it was when like Tap That started doing well and they started performing more. I got to like watch a lot more. And then I wanted to do it.
Right.
And then,
Did you like? So I always talk about like when I have a kid, like I don't want it to dance, and then everyone's like, yeah, but like
It's
it'll
going
be
to.
sick, and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, but like you're as a parent, like I don't think like when I was little, if my mum was a dancer, I wouldn't have been like I want to do that. That's cool
Because it's your mum.
because it's your mum.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but did you think, oh, this is cool? My mum's like a tap dancer who's been on TV and holds a Guinness World Record.
Yeah.
But
were you
what?
like, this is
Wait,
dope?
Rewind, Guinness World Record, hit me.
yeah, she doesn't have it anymore. But she had it. It's like, you remember that TV show Guinness World Record Smashed?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
one on Sky. They like approached her to do the most taps in a minute.
Is it?
Yeah, and she beat it. She had like a couple of days notice and she beat it, which is obviously...
Did she train for it? We should have had your mum in.
Yeah, she did, kind of.
I mean, I guess she's
How many
trained for it
taps did she
forever.
do?
It was like 780
In a minute.
something.
Yeah, I watched it. It's bonkers.
It's still on
What
YouTube.
Technique. I mean, I know nothing about
What? She just did paddles the whole time,
Right.
which is obviously like, it's the basic step, but it's watching it.
Her
it's
ankles must have been like...
Yeah, like stamina. I could not do that.
Have you tried beating it?
I'm going to beat it one day. I am going to beat it one
I
day.
think we should film you trying to beat it.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
will happen, but like the
Have you got
new
your tap shoes
record,
with you?
there's a new record.
I've got a
though.
studio, I've got a camera.
Not today. It's too hot today.
I'll
But,
try.
One.
I don't want to see that. I'll get 7.
But there's a new record. The guy got like 1,200 or something stupid like that.
minute.
Yeah, like doubled.
I bet to count it, they have to like slow mo
That's
it.
like, yeah, like
It's like double what she did because she did like I think it was something like what would it be? I'm trying to do maths.
that's like 30
20
taps a
Yeah,
second.
it's mad. It's like
How is that feasible?
I don't know.
All right, if we could put a guess on it, what do you reckon you'd get?
I reckon if I had like how long have I got to practice? Still have like a couple of days like she did, like notice.
Yeah. I'll give you a week.
It's literally 20
Say-
taps.
say-
20 taps a second.
I reckon I
Wait,
could.
did you need a calculator to do that?
I'm just double checking my
You've got
maths.
dumber.
No, I had no idea. To be
Yeah, but
honest.
he'd be like, it's
I
the
was about to say like
percentage of this.
36. I thought it was about 36 a second.
Yeah.
No, I reckon I could. I don't think I'd get 1,000, but I reckon if I train for like a week, I'd get around 900.
900.
I reckon.
But how? I just don't understand the physics applied. How can you get that many taps a second? What are you doing to your foot?
Well,
Is this
it's
like
just,
that?
it's like, no, it's the opposite. You want to relax it as much as you can because you're not doing like just nerves the whole time. You'll be going through the motion. And then, like, I remember
I
when.
suppose you've got 2 feet. haven't
Yeah,
you?
when,
Not you.
I've got double.
2 left.
no, like when she practiced it, the way to tell how she was doing was like, because she did 5-beat paddles. So every time she moved her right foot, that was 10. So she did 5 sounds on the right, 5 sounds on the left, 5 sounds on the right, 5 sounds on the left. She counted how many times we did her right foot and then times that by 10.
Right.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
we did like,
yeah.
if she did 30, times that by 10.
How'd you do a 5-beat paddle? All I know is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Heel in the middle. So I have to do it because you can't see my legs on the camera. 1, 2, heel that foot, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
But she's doing that
Sorry, my brain's
twice a
figuring
second.
it out.
Twice a second.
Well, if she did like 7, so if she
4
did, what did she do? Like 780 something. So
Dude,
she
that's
did-
fucking bonkers.
yeah. It is nuts.
I want to try it.
I want to
Just for shits and giggles
yeah.
to be like, I got 200, I'll be gassed.
I think I have never tried it.
Never.
No.
You've never one time just thought I'm going to try this without anyone watching to see if my mum's cool.
No, because I know it's hard. Like I do appreciate the fact it's hard, but that's why like if I do it, I'm actually going to do it, just so I can be like, yeah. I'm
Would you rub
passing.
it in her face that you beat her?
Yeah, yeah, obviously. That's the only reason. Like I know I'm not going to break the record. It's like 1,200. I cannot do that. Like I know for a fact, unless if I had like a year,
Yeah.
like of just training. But I know that I won't be able to do that. But if I beat her, that's funny.
That means you're second place.
Yeah, like
Essentially recorded.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I don't know if there's anyone else, but
We're going to Google it after this.
Yeah.
I need to know.
I need
But
to
if-
watch this video.
it'll
I'm
be
really
funny.
like excited.
yeah, I'll
about
play
this.
it to you after. It's funny.
That's dope. And then...
Going back. Well, you go.
No, you go. No, you go.
You said earlier that you weren't chasing being a dancer when you were a kid. What age did you convert, and what made you convert? You said obviously about the shows.
Yeah, so I got yeah, convert, yeah. It kind of is. No, I think I was so Tap Attack started from 11 up until when I was 10, and then they started from when you were 8. So but like the mini program which they have now is 8 to 11, 12-ish, and they never had that until I was like 10. And because I started doing more tap, I wasn't 100%, but I enjoyed it. And then when they started the mini thing, it was, oh, well, I can do that. So I started doing that. And then I got to audition for the World Championships, which is what Tap Attack go to every year, which is in Germany. And obviously at the age of 10, like the idea of being the best in the world is amazing. So that's what kind of got me into it. And then I had a solo for that and got to work with Jim. So it kind of like made me enjoy it a lot more. And then because I enjoyed it, it made me want to do that. And
So it was the competitive side that brought it out.
yeah, and kind of not realizing what you can actually, you know, like when you figure out you have all this talent in you. And like, because I never knew, I was kind of useless when I was 10. And then I got to work with Jim and I enjoyed it because it was teaching me how to dance like a man rather than like just doing steps. Like he made me just enjoy it a lot more. And it was kind of like being a boy against to a cool routine.
Jim
Yeah,
is
it's the
like
best
an
I did.
iconic OG tap dancer.
Right.
Yeah, he's
Was that
done.
the dude that was in the studio the other day?
Yeah, that's the one
yeah.
you come to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like he's
The dude.
The dude. That's a dude.
he like for me, he's taught all of the boys in the UK that are like killing it. Like he's taught most of them from like when they were younger, kind of the methods that have helped me. Like it's little things you don't realize that he teaches you, but it's from that kind of journey of going to the World Championships and having that opportunity. And obviously, like I said, it's like the Olympics of taps, how everyone treats it. But being 10 and being like, oh, I could be the best in the world at something. I could be the world champion. That idea is like, oh, I'm going to be the best. Thinking it's like the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah, because I guess that doesn't happen in lots of things, does it? Like, you're not like the best footballer for a 10-year-old in the world.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you might be, but like,
Yeah.
it's not like recorded.
Are we
Like,
talking best team or you isolated?
No, so I did like a solo,
Right.
and I actually won the solo that year, which obviously like going in,
against people your age or just
it's like, so it was a children, so it'd have been, I was 10, no, I was just turned 11. It's like 8 to 11, so I was the top of the age group,
Right.
but it's like three age groups
Yeah, yeah,
basically. But yeah, that idea, it's like you said, you don't get to compare that, and obviously I think with the tap side, especially because there's only one big world championships.
That's what I was going
So
to
it's-
say. And within like,
so actually draws the best.
within street
Yeah.
dance, like, how many fucking world championships are there?
Yeah.
Like, there's 17 different
Yeah,
organizations, but at tap, there's kind of just one.
Yeah,
right?
there's one that everyone recognises as because it is solely just a tap competition. It's not like Dance World Cup where there's every genre in 1 week. It's
Yeah.
just tap for the whole week. And you do all the different categories and solos, duos, all of that.
This sounds really dumb of me. Are there different styles of tap? You know how like there's hip hop, and then within hip hop we have different styles of dance, like locking, popping. Are there different like styles of tap dancing?
No, not really. I personally don't think so, because the thing that pisses me off a lot is English tap to American tap. So what, like over here we call it English tap, or we call like what tap would do. People call that American tap. It's like, no, it's not American tap, because tap is American.
So what's the difference between them?
Well, you know, like ISTD, the exams and stuff.
Yeah.
People think because it's like quite 42nd Street, it's the only way I can like really describe it.
Meaning
compared
like
to
very
them.
upright.
Yeah, and like arms, time steps,
Yeah.
doing all the arms and stuff. But then they call like tap attack American tap, because we don't really do that. But it's tap is American, so how can it be American tap? Do you know what I mean?
Because it's originated in the
But
States.
Well, they
there's
say that about locking though, don't they? There's like American locking and
Yeah.
French locking. Like
well, I guess, but
It's just the way you carry your
English tap
body
is not a
throughout
style
it.
because we do exactly the same
Right.
footwork. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like I try and get rid of that. When I meet Americans, they're like, "Oh, you do that English tap?" I'm like, no, I don't.
just
I try
tap.
and get rid of that stigma. But
Yeah.
To me, you're quite a. I mean, I know nothing about tap, but you're quite a different tap dancer, and just the way you dance tap.
in terms of
Just
like
stylistically, like,
Well, that's
You bring such a modern.
Well, that's what I've always said too.
Yeah.
Like, to me, when I watch, like, again, I don't know if your feet are doing the right thing or the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, not only are you making the sounds which, you know, tap dancers can make, to me, the visual aspect of it is as entertaining as the audio aspect of it. Is that the right word?
Yeah, no.
It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
whereas with a lot of people, like,
It's more
that
real,
I've seen,
yeah.
like, do, like, I've seen them do judges showcases, I've seen them do
Yeah, yeah.
performances, and they put a microphone on the floor next to their feet, and they just tap and make noises with their feet. And I'm like,
But this isn't doing much.
but the dance, like, where's the dance? Like, you're
Yeah,
creating,
I know what you mean.
you're creating music, but you're not creating dance. To me,
Yeah. No,
as
and-
a dancer, not a tap dancer. That's what how
Yeah.
I see it. Whereas when I watch you do it, I'm like, oh, look, his torso moves, he travels. There's dynamic changes. There's bigger weight transfers. There's level changes. There's all the things which, in my brain, equal dance. There's a groove. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when he does it.
Yeah, I remember watching. It was a hip hop number. I can't remember what it was. You did a tap. It was quite recently. You made
Oh,
a
the
reel
one to
out of
move it, I think.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
And I was just like, yo, this is like
Yeah.
so much
It's
more
cool.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then just.
And did you learn that from someone, or did you take kind of two different disciplines and put it together?
When I was
Is this the Kai special?
Well, I mean, it's not, because everyone adds their own like thing to what they do. So even like what you said about like judges showcase and people doing that, that is their way of doing it, and it's very like, so when I used to train in America a lot, and obviously because of COVID, I haven't been able really to go for like 3 years. So I do like 4 weeks a year where I'd be there and try and do as many events as I could to learn from all these people, and that's kind of how I got more and more into it, is because I was meeting like the equivalents to like the crazy people of hip hop, like the masters of tap that are alive right now, and the like leading people. I got to meet all of them and create a relationship with them, which obviously inspired me to carry it on. So they were the ones that kind of really helped me create the footwork. And then obviously with the more dance training I've been doing in the last couple of years, it's like trying to it's not fuse it together and make a new thing, but it's just what I enjoy to do. So it's not like, I wouldn't call it a style. Like, I enjoy tap dance and I enjoy every other style of dance, like hip hop or whatever. But then if I get to choreograph, which is what I love to do, and I can just put them together for fun, like it's not necessarily anything, but if I know, oh, an audience will like it when I do something like that, try and piece it together. And it's kind of, it's not necessarily a fusion. Like when people say tap in hip hop fusion or something like that, and they like advertise a class like that, it's like, well, okay, all right, but I don't want to label it anything. It's like, because I wouldn't want other people necessarily to do it, because I create it for myself rather than create it for like a group of people, if that makes sense.
I mean, it would look dope on a group of people.
Yeah, it would, yeah.
If you want to do a concept video, hit me up.
Yeah, I'm down. That's in the pipe work, so I want to kind of make something like that happen eventually.
You know when you, because like obviously, what are you now, 20, no, 18, you're still 18.
19.
You're 19?
You're 19, yeah, 18 last year.
Yeah.
19. So you're 19, like, not only have you like, you know, established yourself within the tap world, you've done a lot of TV stuff.
Yeah.
Like doing all these shows and stuff, which we'll get onto in a minute. But you also teach.
Yeah.
And you've been teaching for a long time, right? What is it like being your age and being so much younger, teaching for such a like a well-recognized establishment or business? Like you teach for the leading tap company in the country. Granted, it's your mum's. Like
does help.
That does help for sure. But like, to me, there's a lot of like clout that comes with that. And a lot of, or a lot of pressure that comes with that.
Yeah.
Like, what's that like, feeling like you're at the forefront of like tap within this country now?
I
Because
mean,
you are essentially, like, you know, you're represented on TV as a tap dancer. You go to all the world championships and you win them, or you place in them, or the people you do place in them, and now you teach for the biggest tap company in the country.
Yeah.
Like, what's that like? Because kind of like you're steering the boat, like, to a degree.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, right now it's dope, obviously. Like, it's a good position to be in as a 19-year-old. And it was one of them things that I didn't know whether I would necessarily enjoy it, if that makes sense. You kind of had to try it to see if I enjoyed it. And now I'm in a good position. But yeah, there's a lot of pressure, especially when I was like younger, because I would be teaching my peers. Whereas now it's kind of evolved to the point where it's the people that were like coming up whilst I was at the top of tap when I was actually in it, that are now the people at the top. So I kind of get to teach them, and I've been teaching them now for like 3 or 4 years, which is obviously a long time. I was like 15, 16 when I first started teaching them. But I enjoy it because it's what I really like. Like I find passion within people having passion around me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't realize how much I would enjoy teaching until I kind of saw how much everyone else enjoyed it around me. And it kind of reminded me when I was their age, when I was like 14, 15, them being as excited as I used to be. And that gave me the excitement again to want to do it. It's like when I choreographed a piece for the last World Championships, which was like 3 years ago, and I was kind of coming to the end of my excitement and my experience personally with that competition.
As a competitor.
Yeah. But seeing these kids be as excited as I used to be when I first started going, it made me realise why I loved it. And I kind of went back in then again with the same mentality I had when I was like 10. And it's seeing the passion, and they're all talented, obviously, because they're in tap attack, and that's great. But it's not even that, it's getting to know the people and watching them from where they've been to where they are. And I think that's the thing. It's like not teaching random pop-up workshops for random people that come every time, like teaching the same people regularly is a beautiful thing, really.
I
And
agree.
that's what I enjoy.
And building that relationship. And then you actually get to see them develop
Yeah.
over a period of time, as opposed to they come in and they get a taster of what it
Yeah.
feels like to teach. And that's kind of the same thing as what it's like, you know, teaching like a college,
Yeah,
and teaching
exactly.
like my program was like when you revisit teaching the same people and you see the change in their dance.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you think like watching the difference of a dancer of you are from 3 years ago to now
Exactly.
is like,
Yeah.
like a different person. Like,
Yeah.
then you were the goat at tap dancing, but now you're an all-round incredible dancer. Do you know what I mean? Whereas you
appreciate
were a
that.
one-trick pony then.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, but you were just really good at one trick. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, if anyone goes back, and you can't watch it, but if you listen to our old podcast, like, that was my questions that I asked you. Like, how did you, like, imagine being amazing at something. Like, and it blows my mind. Imagine being a world champion at, like, by the time, before he started college. So he goes to college at 16. like, and you're the best in the college at that thing already, where everyone's going there to learn it. You're already better. You're as good as the teachers. You teach with the teachers. Like, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're at a level at something at higher 16 than what the teachers are at what they teach. Like, and that's what it is for me. Like, I always used to go, Kai's better at tap dancing than I am at what I do.
Right.
And everyone be like, yeah, but no, I can be real. I can be honest with myself.
Nah.
Like, no, like to me, like when I see you tap, I go, oh, you're a master at that thing, right? So then to have the mentality to be able to go, I'm going to go and be shit now at all the other things. Like, I'm going to go and be...
It's so easy to stay in that.
I've never done a ballet class before. You've never done a contemporary. You've never done all these things.
Yeah.
To be able to have the mental capacity at the age of 16 to go, oh, I'm going to go from being in that room and being the best in the building to go in that room and probably be the worst. Like
Let's ask him.
Yeah, but to me, that is like, that's amazing.
No, that's what I thrive off though. I like being the worst person. I'd rather be the worst person in the room than the best. Because the thing for me was, I found when I like came back to college, or started college and went to being the bottom of everything, was that with tap, the reason I got into it is because I enjoyed finding the quick progression. So from the age of 10 to 11, I grew like that much in the ability, 11 to 12 the same. And then when you kind of get to a point where you are good at something and now you've got to nitpick little individual things, like I'm not very good at this little thing or this little thing. And then it's harder to see overall progress.
Well, everything has a ceiling.
Yeah. But then going back to college, it was like, wow, I've improved stupid amounts in the first year and finding that progression. And then it was more like second year where I felt that enjoyment grow. And it's because I saw my progression right in front of me. Like even from day to day, I'll be going like doing your stuff in your classes, and it'll be like from the start of second year to the end of second year, feeling that progression is what made me even more passionate for it. So it's like I almost developed the same love and hunger that I had for tap when I was younger that I did when I was starting college, because it was the growth for me. And yeah, it's a nice enjoyment kind of witnessing that and being able to credit yourself, because obviously everyone's their hardest critic, but sometimes you need to look back and be able to look at yourself and go, look, you're actually doing better than you think you would be doing.
Did you find, but again, kind of because of the skill cap or skill level you were in tap, did you find it easy or hard to transfer the skill to another discipline of dance? And in my mind, if you're so good at something, it's hard to think of something like dance or movement in a completely different way. Or did you find, oh, actually, a house number feels really easy because I'm so used to it? Does my question make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. I'm just trying to think, because the thing is with me is I'm really impatient.
Right.
When it comes to, over lockdown, I tried to learn so many new things. I didn't do a single one of them because I would sit down and get so frustrated that I couldn't do it. And I hate not being able to do something. But I think that might be because I was trying to do it on my own, whereas at college, I'm in a room full of 20 people. And if someone else is doing something and I can't do it, then I'm getting pissed off. And I'm like, why can't I do that? And then I'm trying my hardest to be able to do it. So I think it was hard to kind of be at the bottom of something at the start and kind of not have much experience. But then I had to remind myself, you don't have much experience, so why would you be really good at this?
Do you reckon you were getting pissed off because you're so used to being a high skill level
and
to now being a lower skill level?
The thing with when we were like coming up through Tap Attack, like there's two of my friends, Marcus and Steve, who were joined at the same point that I did. And we came up together like all the way until I was like 16, like till I started college pretty much. And we would always like, if we start rehearsal at 10, we get there at 9 and have an hour where we just went and just jammed in the whole studio and just did that for a whole hour before we started. And then we'd be in a training session. So we'd be stealing each other's steps from 9 to 10 and trying to like one up each other, even though no one's watching, and just for fun really. And then we'd have a training session from like 10 till 2 where we'd be like doing stuff across the floor and Marcus would do something better than me. So then I'm trying to do it and then I can't do it. So I'm getting annoyed. And then there's something else that I can do better than Steve. And then, do you know what I mean? So that's how we like, and we pushed each other so much. That's how we grew so quickly, was because we were competitive with each other as well as just with ourselves. So I think that's kind of what it's like then at college, even though like And that's all. It's all friendly. It's not necessarily like you can't do this, so I'm going to beat you
Friendly
up or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not going to speak to you for the rest of the day.
Yeah, but
like stupid shit like that.
I think that's the right mentality to have, but I don't think everyone has that mentality at college. Otherwise, I think everyone would progress more.
Well,
I
yeah.
think everyone, like, and I've said this multiple times, like, I think everyone finds their place within the room. When you're in the same class and you train with the same people all the time, you settle for being, so say we're in a tap class, we'd probably settle that you're going to be the best.
yeah.
And we accept it and we settle it,
Right.
as opposed to
I
being
know what
like,
you mean. So it
becomes a negative.
as opposed to being like,
Ooh,
oh,
I'm gonna take him.
I'm going to get as good as him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
yeah, yeah.
I think
what happens is people go, well, I'm never going to be that good, so but I'm just going to keep going.
But I
Like,
think a lot of that you don't even realize that you're doing that. If that makes sense. Like I always make that a conscious effort to challenge myself with these people. Whereas if I didn't do that, I think I could easily just sit and be content with these people being better than me. But every day I watch something and I don't watch it and go, wow, they're really good at that. I go, okay, well, how can I do that?
Sick.
So I think it's kind of, you have to make yourself do that. So it's kind of settling, but I don't even realize, or I don't even think people realize necessarily that they're doing it, because you do have to make that effort, at least in my mind. But that's something that I've learned when I was like 11.
roast thy neighbor.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that's quite an advanced mental state to be in. Like,
Yeah.
how
Oh,
did you stumble across that? Like, I certainly didn't discover that into my 20s.
I've been surrounded by
Makes me
older
sound like a
people.
granddad.
No, I've been.
You are 45. Sorry.
No, I've been surrounded by older people, like even with like those friends I was talking about. They're 2 years older than me or 3 years older than me.
Right.
So when I was 11, they were 13 and 14. So is that kind of narrative of basing yourself with older people. I was always the youngest in the room.
I think it's a game changer if you surround yourself with older people.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're more likely to progress quicker.
Yeah.
Like when I moved to London, all my friends were older than me. Like I was 20 and I hung out with Cisco and John and that, which were like between 6 and 8 years older than me.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Cisco's like 4 years older than me. Sorry, sis. Like, everyone was older than me, so I was automatically like, I'm with the elders. They know better. They've experienced more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen
Yeah.
to them and grow from them, or try and outdance them, or whatever.
Yeah,
and
it's
I think
just-
that's a great
it's a
place to
different
be in,
maturity.
because when you're with people who all think the same as you and the same age as you and have the same sort of similar life experiences, like what are you taking from it?
Yeah. And that's why, I think that's important. Like, and thankfully, like at college, obviously we've got people that are my age, and especially like out of like my friends are my age, but they're also people that are like 2 or 3 years older than me. So it's kind of like I learned a lot from, and I remember like a piece of advice I got earlier this year. It's like the gap between like 18 to 20 is you realize when you're 18 how much you didn't know when you were 16 at college. And then when you're 18, you realize how much you didn't know at 20, because he's like 20, 21 now. So it's kind of like when he said that to me, it kind of clicked, because then slowly I was starting to realise.
That keeps happening,
Yeah.
just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
no, but it's,
when I was
every 6
25,
months I go, what the
when I was
fuck?
25, I was like, I'm an adult now.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? And then when I was 30, I was like, 25, I was a dumbass.
but that's literally, it's like looking back on it, innit? And especially like, sometimes you just need those little gentle reminders. And then because it's like people older than me give me that advice, it's like, right, wise man, almost. Do you know what I mean? Because I always spend my time around older people, so I realise that, like, I always take their advice and just sort of look up to
how
them.
does that make you feel then when you're around younger people?
Well, because I've spent the time around. Well, actually, what do you mean in terms
Do you
of
feel like,
teaching or
well,
my
just
friends?
then, like, say friends or students, do you then notice their immaturity or naivety within their problems or their training and stuff like that? Like, and do you feel the need to be like, why didn't you try this? Because I've experienced that.
Yeah, sometimes
like,
I've
because
been-
you're already a teacher.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
sometimes I've
mean?
been teaching,
You're
yeah.
already an educator. So do you feel like you take on that educator role? Because I do.
Yeah.
Like, personally, I feel like when I'm around
I'm
people,
everyone's life coach.
like, I feel like if I'm around people younger than me and I've experienced something, I feel like I automatically, and they probably don't want me to, but it's because I care.
Yeah.
Educator mode kicks in,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
want to help you.
Now, sometimes I've been teaching, especially, and because they're going through, I think it's helpful actually that I trained at Tap Attack, because I know what the experiences are like. So I always think, and like one of my things I always think about when I'm teaching, especially if I wake up and I'm in a bad mood or something, I gotta go teach. I always think, look, I want to give back to these people what I had when I was training, because it's only fair that they have the same amount of passion that I got given. And do you know what I mean? That's how it helps them grow. So if someone is in a position that I've been at Tap Attack and I can see even like stupid things like getting steps right, I always just try and put my input in, even if they don't take it, like, or no matter what it is. So yeah, I do see it, but it's kind of then like being on the flip side of it. So you can look down and go, not look down on someone, but you know what I mean? Like look at the situation and go,
You assess it.
yeah, look at the situation and go, okay, how can we solve this rather than just like not helping. I think it's stupid not to help, but it's that thing I said like about giving back the same energy that I was given when I was training, because no one else is going to get better if they don't give an energy. And then there's no point in me always being on top, because when you teach, I think it's almost a selfless thing of, even though I'm young, I'm training people to be better than me or giving them the skills that they can go and be better than me. Like, I don't want to be
That's
the best
already
person.
such a mature mindset. Like, I always say, right, like, I want everyone I teach to end up better than me.
Yeah.
Like, but then that's a success
It's
for
like,
me.
like, look at Harvey. I've
Yeah.
been teaching him since he was like 13. I think he's near enough better than me.
Do you?
I think he could be, yeah. Like, what he can do with his feet is stuff that I can't do. But there's other things that I can do that he can't. But it's like training him. It's like, if I didn't want to be better than me, I would be a bit, like, I'll save this step for me. I'll save this step for me. But I never did that. And then, but I would get to this position.
I'm gonna keep that one.
I
superpower.
I choreograph his solo first, and I'd be like, oh, this is sick. This is so cool.
So you put all your creativity, fresh creativity into him.
And then the next week I get to mine, I'll be like,
and then you get the
Shit, I
and
ain't
then
got
you
nothing
get-
left.
and then you get the stale shit. Like,
I'll be like, okay, there's nothing left for me.
yeah,
now.
I gave him the best song. I gave him the
I was like, all these ideas. There was like a bit of section. There's a section I actually made up for him. His last solo he did. I was like, that's my best section I've ever made up. And I was like, nothing topped that. And every time I watched it, I was like, just sat there thinking, oh, come on, why didn't I save that for me? But no, it is that thing, and of like, you don't want to, like, if you're teaching, you got to teach people. You can't be like better than them or want to be better than them.
Okay, here's a question. Do you prefer teaching or performing?
I prefer performing. Well, it depends. I prefer choreographing over teaching. Though. So
okay.
I prefer performing and then choreographing and then teaching. If that
Gotcha.
makes sense.
Yeah.
completely.
I think teaching, like, sometimes I struggle to take off my choreographer hat, even when I'm teaching. If that makes sense. And I want to just try and like do something, even with like a basic exercise, and try and make it something. And then sometimes I have to go, no, don't do that. But choreographing is where I really develop my interest, I think. But then it's because I choreograph for myself to perform, and then I enjoyed that feed, and then I got the opportunity to choreograph for other people. So it's kind of like a cycle that's growing. Same with the teaching. I got one opportunity, enjoyed it, so let me do more. So I think it's kind of like that.
And I think teaching's a hard one, isn't it? Because like people can go, oh, do you like teaching? Like, so say you asked like one of us or all of us, in fact, like, do you like teaching? It's like yes and no, because I prefer teaching different people or different ages and different abilities. Like, I like teaching as a whole, but me teaching people
College
like you
students,
guys and L is very different to me teaching 13-year-olds who do it for fun on a Saturday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not as enjoyable because they're just there for the social as
Yeah.
opposed to trying to be a great dancer.
Exactly.
Whereas when you've got beasts next to you, like trying to roast you and they're fucking roasting you, like, to me, that's the best.
Yeah.
Like, being able to go to Elle, like, roast me, and then she roasts me. I go, come on. Like, I'm like, as proud as I am of her, it's like I'm proud of me because I'm like, oh, that's part
You've
of
helped, yeah, you
I'm
helped,
part
yeah,
of that,
yeah.
like,
The journey. I
that
feel
journey.
that.
I've
And also
watered
makes
that
you put
seed. Yeah, and then it makes me better.
I feel that. Yeah.
Do you still train in tap like you train in other styles?
No, not as much as I used to, which is annoying. Because I do still really want to, but I kind of obviously, when I tap, it's kind of for other people, which is kind of sad. In terms of when I tap, it's mainly because I'm teaching, or because I'm choreographing.
Or they're doing a show?
Yeah, like Wilkes, I'm doing a tap piece in the show, so I've got a tap for that.
Yeah,
But
because you always get the Kai's going to do a tap number. Well, in anything you do, innit? Well, we'll get
Well,
Kai to do a tap thing there, and he
yeah.
choreographs it himself. No one does it for him.
Yeah, so it's kind of, other than when I'm choreographing for myself, I don't really give myself enough time because it's always thinking of, oh, I've got an event next week that I need to teach for, so I've got to make a routine for that. Or I'm doing a piece next week for so-and-so, so I'm going to do that.
How much do you teach?
I teach obviously for TapSat, which is near enough every Sunday.
Right.
So it's like once a week, and I do want to do more, but at the same time I don't. Like, I'm quite happy.
You've been in full-time training.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, and
to,
it's-
to do full-time training and then teach is a
That's
lot.
what I mean. Like, I live at Wilkes basically. I'm
Yeah.
there like 6 days a week, which is
And then do your program straight after.
yeah, usually.
Nice place to live, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Nice
But yeah,
studios.
and,
best studios in the country, in fact.
I do want to do more, but at the same
Do you?
time,
Yeah.
oh, Wilkes, yeah, 100%.
Best studios in the country.
100%. Just
Studio,
the
Studio 1
floors.
and Studio 10.
It's the floors itself. I think the floors are like the best thing.
Gangster.
Yeah, I think anyway. We're a bit biased, but
No, like as a whole, like they're massive, they're spacious.
it's the
Like-
balcony in one as well.
Balcony's
That's
cool.
helpful.
I like 10 because no one can see in there. That's why I like 10 because it's
True.
like our giant cave.
Yeah.
Dance
And the
cave.
floors are so sprung, which a lot of studios they have like dance flooring, but it ain't protecting my knees like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I found like when even like if you go to base for one lesson, like when we was tapping there the other week, and I came out and I was like, oh my god, I'm not
Yeah.
used to this like level of. I need to grow up. I'm only 19.
Yeah.
But it's just like my knees already. I was like, oh my god. But yeah,
You wait till you're 32.
yeah.
Dope. So going back to you saying about choreographing, the show you did recently was everything a Kai original in terms
Yeah.
of
What was the show called? The Young
BBC Young Dancer.
BBC Young. I won't say the Young Dancer, but the BBC
The Young Dancer.
the Young Dancer. BBC Young Dancer.
Yes, I mean, talk to us about that process. How did you even get onto the show?
Show number 19 that you've done, right?
Well, it's obviously it's the first one I've done since I've been an adult as well. So it was like completely different.
You weren't an adult when you did it. Oh yeah, you were. You were
Yeah, I
18.
was
I take
18.
it back. Retract.
No, I
my
was 19.
statement.
I'm even like when we did the final. I was 19
Oh,
all
were
the
you?
time. Yeah.
Soz.
Yeah, you should be. I thought you knew that.
Fair play.
No, it's obviously a different experience from doing a kid show to being an adult and doing an adult show.
Was everyone adults on
Yeah.
this?
Well,
Right,
actually, there was a couple. Well, there was
Like
a
16
couple.
plus?
Yeah, it was all 16 to like 22. I think 21, 22. Yeah, so it came off the back of that third lockdown. So when like the January to March, April time, and I was at like quite a low anyway during that time because I was just getting frustrated with like life, not being able to train, this and that Zoom, and just in general, I was just getting pissed off with how everything was going. And my mum's found this thing. She got an email from producers. She gets them quite a lot, and they were like, "Oh, do you have any tap dancers like 17, 18 that would be interested in doing this?" And the brief was like, who's the best young dancer in terms of ability, who can be versatile, who can choreograph, who's an artist, who can adapt. I was like, oh, I can do all of that. So I was like, I'll do that.
I
And
rate it so much.
yeah, I was like, okay, I'll
That's
do
me,
it.
motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what I was like. So my mum sent me the thing, and I had to record like a little intro video, just kind of like 30 seconds talking about myself.
What did you say?
I can't remember, but
Isn't it the worst thing
Yeah.
having to tell yourself, I'm Kane Silver and I'm
But
really
it was
good.
it was like
I'm
talk
really
about
good
your
at that.
styles as well. So I was like talking about tap and how tap is my thing, but I can do other things. Well, try to anyway. This was like a year and a half ago now, so
Yeah.
try to. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I can. And then I had the video, and I just never sent it off because I was then starting to doubt myself. And I think this is when I was going through that process of like when I was doubting myself a lot and kind of not wanting to do stuff. And then a couple of my friends convinced me, why don't you just send it? And they say this thing, and a lot of people say it, and it really annoys me because I don't understand. But they go, you're the Kai Scanlan. And I'm like, right, what does that mean? Like, to me, that means nothing. And they're like, stop being stupid, send off the video. So I was like, eventually I sent it off.
Yeah, I
You're
like
Yeah.
the
Yeah, like, I hate it because I don't know what
Do you know
that
what?
means.
That's so funny, but you won't hate it one day because you know what I do? I literally am the guy I go, I'm Kane Silver.
so annoying.
I go,
Yeah,
I'm Kane Silver.
yeah,
But you know who it is.
Yeah, I
because
do.
I think because there's only one Kane Silver.
yeah,
Like I'm sure there's loads of like Thomas Daniels,
yeah, 100%.
and there's only one Kai Scanlan. You are the Kai
Yeah.
Scanlan,
I get you, but at the same time, I mean, I didn't
You're the
really
goat.
Yeah, I didn't really
the
get
baby
that.
goat,
I'll take
the
that.
lamb.
Yeah, so I sent off the video, and then after being convinced, and then my mum was like, "Don't be stupid, just do it." So I sent it off, and then yeah, they emailed me back and was like, "Yeah, we'd like you to come to the audition," and they were like, "Just create a piece, like a 3-minute max solo," which is a long time.
I was like 3
Wait,
minutes.
3 minutes solo.
Yeah, so usually
Jeez.
I only ever do 2-minute solos, like for
Even
worlds
that's
and
long.
Just, but choreographed, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I can kind of make 2 minutes well, but 3 minutes, that's like contemporary length. So I was like, Jesus Christ.
That's like you can stand still and do some like
yeah.
internal shit.
So
for
I
a
did
while.
like, they cut down my first piece, but I did like 20 seconds where I walked on.
nice.
10 seconds where I walked off. I was like, yeah. And I was kind of getting into like the more storytelling, expressive kind of choreography that I did later on in the show.
Do you reckon you were forced into that because of the length of time?
No,
Or just 'cause
I could have done what I usually do, but I kind of wanted, because it was a lot about being an artist and being yourself rather than trying to fit a brief.
Right.
I was like, okay, and because I was trying to I started using choreography as a way to navigate and let things out rather than just keeping it all bottled in, which I actually found helped. I improv'd a lot over lockdown and just played music and just tapped. And even though it sounds stupid, it kind of helped me get through things a lot easier because it's just expression. And I said it on the show, I feel like everyone should have an outlet of expression, no matter what it is, because otherwise you're just not helping yourself. So if it's something stupid like writing, or not stupid, that sounded really bad. If it's something like writing,
Stupid writers. It's stupid to you.
Yeah, I couldn't do that, but that's because I'm stupid. Or no matter how little or how small it is, DIY or whatever, or something like writing music.
Yeah, just something
dancing.
creative and outlet.
Something that can literally just help you escape from what you're doing, then I think you should have it. So I kind of used that first audition as kind of like a tester of, right, well, I can show them what I could potentially do if they give me an opportunity.
So you used your original audition as
it's the first time I've ever done
a totally different style of what you
were
So
doing.
instead of playing safe and going, I know I can roast this cool
it's the first time I'd ever
thing.
done something like that. And I kind of, I didn't have any expectation. It's the first time they'd ever have tap on the show.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, it depends on how many people show up here to tap. I was like, and there was no one down my day. So I was like, so if they want tap, they're only going to want me, or they're going to have no one. And I was like, okay, cool. So I just thought it was kind of showing the potential of what I could do, and I wanted that to help me. And I think it worked in my favor because they saw that and was like, that's interesting, that's different. And it was kind of going through that process, and obviously we had to do a bunch of improv stuff in the first auditions, which it was cool. Obviously I'm comfortable doing that because that's what we do all the time. And then, I got into the final, which was then when it kind of started to feel real. And then I had to actually create a proper piece. And I look back on that first audition and I was like, this was terrible. Can't believe I did this in comparison to what I ended up showcasing in the final.
Right.
So, yeah.
When you look back at your piece that you did in the final, do you feel proud of it?
Yeah. It was... So people don't know this because I think I'm the first person to actually really talk about the show since we've been on it. So the final was meant to be 3 months earlier than it was. So I was meant to we did the residency, which was the middle 2 episodes, in October. And then we were meant to come back, rehearse in November, which I couldn't do because I was at Panto, being a pirate.
Bit of change.
So,
Dan's life.
Yeah, and then we finished the contract on New Year's Eve. I was meant to go down to London on New Year's Eve and quarantine for a week. And then about a week before it was meant to go down, they emailed saying it was cancelled because of was it Omicron? That variant? They cancelled it because of that, because it was going crazy again. So I had 3 months extra than what I was planning on having, which I'm really grateful for because I needed that time. I didn't realize how much I needed it because I would have been rushed. And that piece was like a product of 7 months of work. But it wasn't
That long?
It wasn't consistent. I didn't do it for
Right.
7 months. I did the September, October, November working on it, and then I was gonna have to do a whole week on it in January in my quarantine for the show, and then it would have been done. But instead, I then took a break from January, February, started it again in March, and then April was when I performed it.
So you actually had, even if it wasn't time actually investing in that piece, you were still investing in you and becoming better.
Yeah, exactly.
So that all carries across into the product,
and
right?
thankfully, I wasn't able to work with Ricky, who was my mentor for it. I wasn't able to work with him in the November period or the October period that we had it. So I was actually able to work with him because of the cancellation. So I worked with him in April, which was perfect for me. So I got a whole day with him to help me.
Shout out to Ricky Jinks.
Yeah, Ricky Jinks.
Is he a mentor in show, or is he just someone who was just
No, so
outside the show?
they asked me who I wanted them to have as my mentor.
Right.
And they wanted to give me an Irish dancer. And I said no. I wasn't really... It would have been cool, but it's not what I needed.
Yeah.
And they were like, do you want a tap dancer? And I was like, again, it's cool, but it's not what I wanted
You
to
can
help.
tap.
I
You
wanted
need
to
a
help me
storyteller.
someone... I wanted to have an outside input of someone that can look at it and go, this is what I read as an audience member. I don't understand what your feet's doing.
Yeah, and also if you think about, I don't know if you put this together, but I'm sure you did because you're clever. Your whole thing is I want to be able to tell a story. And like, if you want a storyteller, you either have Ricky Jinks or Leanne Pinder.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's two.
That's the two.
To me,
that
they're
was
the
in my
two
mind.
greatest storytellers
makes
that
total
we
sense.
have. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And I was lucky that Ricky said yeah, and that the show said yeah, because obviously it was an outside person. But yeah, looking back on it, I remember when we performed it in the final, like the last time I did it, and I was just stood there before, and I was thinking about kind of the story that I was telling through the piece, and I was kind of just running my head through all of the like 6 months of work. And then the music started, and I was like, okay, here we go. And I just completely lost myself in that moment.
In a good way or bad way?
In a good way.
Right.
Like, I came off and I didn't know what to say, because it's the longest I've ever worked on a piece. I only usually work on a piece for about 2 months and it's done. And I don't really ever care about it half as much as I cared about this one. But I think it's because it was the first time I was ever allowed to 100%, and I felt more comfortable actually just 100% being me and telling that story of kind of progression over the last couple of years in my life and that realization. And I remember then watching it back when the final aired, and I was quite overwhelmed by the whole thing, really. Not in terms of like loads of people watched it, but in terms of more of the fact that it was just done and it was out there. And that's kind of, it's a weird feeling because I had no control over it. And like even the edit, I could have looked really bad on the edit. I'm sure they had some really bad shots, but it's even little things like that that I just didn't worry about in the end. And I was just happy with the whole product as it was.
Was it a one take? Was it like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was scary because it wasn't, the final wasn't live, but it was treated like a live show. So they had the live audience. They had like, it's kind of like how they do like the BGT auditions. So it was all one take. We had we had 2 rehearsals in the place. It was at the Roundhouse in London, which again is like, it's an amazing venue. I literally walked in, I was like, I'm never going to be here again. So it's like, make the most of that. Like it's like Jay-Z performed there. They had like posters like Jay-Z.
yeah, but you are the Kai Scanlan.
Hi, mother.
See, I did that. I brought that back.
No, I'm not nothing like Jay-Z.
You're the
But yeah.
Jay-Z attack, bro.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Do you know we got the same initials?
Still trying to scrape in on the clout, bro.
Trying to ride off his fame.
But no, I mean, it was nice to just be 100% trusted as well as a choreographer, because it's not like any other show. They didn't have any input at all, the producers.
From my understanding of these sort of shows, it's normally very dictated by producers.
No,
And
they literally just
tell
go.
you what music you can and can't
the
use.
only thing was the clearance for music. But
But you could say like, this is the song. and
Yeah.
it-
Did
it's
you
just
get
like-
your original choice?
no. And well, I wasn't meant to use a song, I did. But then they were like, we're going to pull some strings and make it work for you, basically.
What's the, like, in what way are they putting strings? Like, what stops them from using the song? Is it like licensing?
I think it's just clearance for what they can and can't use on social media. So I know some like artists, like people like Michael Jackson, you can't use.
Right.
Like, it's more older artists than newer artists, but it depends. It's the more the budget of the show and the labels attached to it. So if it's a huge label, sometimes you can't get that label to agree. So I think it's more like that. But no, in terms of the producers, the only thing that they actually had control of was music, but it wasn't them giving me the music, it was me asking, can I use this song? So even like costuming, little things like that was all our input
Dope.
with a costume logo,
Yeah,
which
which is
was
dope.
nice.
Because I think I've even
That
heard like,
doesn't
The
happen.
Greatest Dancer is like, even that's pretty scripted.
Yeah,
From my understanding.
they were pretty much even like,
I probably shouldn't say names, should I?
no, it's, yeah,
Call them out.
everyone knows it though, because it's the same company that does BGT.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Psycho, isn't it?
Right.
So everyone knows. And I mean, the show doesn't exist anymore either. I mean, it's a cool show. I like Great Answer.
Yeah, the
but-
moment Ricky got voted off, I was like, I'm never watching the show again.
I
I'm
went-
never watching the show
I went
again.
on Twitter after that one. I don't go on Twitter. I went on Twitter.
I went
and
on
was
Twitter.
like, I was like, hashtag Greatest Dancer. What is going on? And then the same thing happened again the year after with Ainsley.
Yeah, but you
Bruh.
got to remember, it's catered to the masses. It's not.
It's
Catered, it's not
muggle
voted by
voting.
dancers. It's voted by people like my nan, who's going to see the 14-year-old going, 14 younger, 13,
8-year-old, yeah.
12-year-old, 11-year-old duet, and they're just really happy, and they're
Yeah.
going full out, and they go, I love them. They're having a great time. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
but they're technically trash. But they don't understand technique. They just see
Yeah, 100%.
Smiley
But, like,
face.
even like from a muggle's perspective, Ricky Jinx's pieces, all the pieces are beautiful.
Yeah.
Like visually exciting, lots of cannons.
Yeah.
lots of cannons. But there's no, like, if he'd done a, like, in current Beyonce track,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. No,
Like-
I get it. I do get it. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong.
It was one of them. It's because I remember we spoke about it on the Skype podcast that
Yeah.
we did. It's like you asked me about BGT, and in comparison to like the other shows,
Have you done BGT as well? Have you?
yeah.
How far did you get?
We got to the first audition. We got 4 yeses, and then didn't get invited to do the
Live
reveal. They did. That's when they still did the reveal. Do you remember they did that like the episode before? It's like all the acts go to London, and the judges bring them into a room.
It's
and say
100 acts, and they cut them down
They
again.
say
yeah,
yes
yeah.
and no and yes and no. Yeah, we didn't get invited to that, so we kind of they were like, you're not coming to this, but you might still be in it. I was like, well, no, we're not. If we're not going to be on TV,
Yeah.
so we kind of like knew. And obviously, it's just very different. And that was the last experience I had before this one. But this one was nice. Like I said, just to be 100% trusted as a kid, still technically, well, adult kid. Don't know what you want to call me. It's like to have that opportunity to like represent yourself in as many ways as possible. In the fact I didn't have a choreographer, it was just me. In fact, I was the one dancing. I was the one that kind of chose everything. It's a really nice feeling, to be honest.
How many TV shows have you done?
4.
Like, by the age of 19, you've done 4 TV shows. Like, the pressure and the experience you've gained already as a dancer is so much more than most dancers experience in their whole career.
But it's mad because when I did, so the very first audition for this show was in front of the 5 judges, and that was it. And I was shitting myself. It was in a warehouse, and there was 5 people, and I was more nervous than like I'd ever been before in my life. I didn't know why, and obviously we hadn't done it for like 3 years.
What do you mean I didn't know why?
No, but even more nervous than when I did like BGT in front of 2,000 people in Manchester. I was way
Were
more
the judges
nervous.
actual dancers?
Yeah. It was quite
And none of them tap dancers.
yeah.
So
Right.
none of them will be like, I know
I
how
get
good
it.
he is at tap.
Yeah.
It was quite like underground people as well that I didn't know first of all, and then I researched and I was like, actually like mutual connections through people. I was like, okay, actually I do know these people now. So I
Like
did
the,
like my
the one guy, Dixon,
bro, Dixon bruv.
like, unreal.
Yeah.
Like he's just an unreal dancer, like hip hop contemporary dancer, but like out of this world. So like when he told me that Dixon was judging, I was like, what? It's not Ashley Banjo, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, and that's no disrespect to
it's
him.
actually like dope. It's like
Ashley's dope,
Yeah.
but it's not like a celeb.
right.
It's not a celebrity. It's not like just
It's not a
you know,
dance
it's not
celeb,
Arlene
it's,
Phillips.
yeah.
It's like someone who's currently like killing the
Yeah.
dance scene.
And it's different like different sectors as well. So they're all coming from their own different worlds. It's not like it's all from one lane. They all came from, other than tap obviously, but at the same time. It's even like the final, Kate Prince was one of the judges, which for me was bigger than winning it. I was like, as long as she likes my solo, I'm happy.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's all I cared about when
She's
I
a
found
big
out.
deal.
Yeah, when I found out it was Kate Prince, I was like, oh,
Were you like, yes, I'm going to be in the next show?
well, that's what I was hoping for. So
Was it
hopefully.
is it a paid job or was it just like a
No, because obviously you enter yourself, so it's not
Right.
professional work. I can put it on my CV, apparently, but you don't obviously when you enter, you don't get paid for that, which is fine by me. They paid for hotels and travel and that, so it's not like I was actually paying money to be there, and
Yeah.
obviously you get the exposure out of it. So yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a different thing.
It's dope. I never
Yeah.
had the balls to do it. I used to get asked all the time, like when I was younger, like do these shows. I did Britain's Got Talent as a group.
Did you?
Yeah.
what group did you go under?
Stereotype, we were called.
Oh,
We got to the same place as you.
yeah,
Like did the live audience and stuff like that.
yeah.
But it was weird. We did the first.
I've also been on bit.
Have you?
Let's go.
What did you do on Musical Talent?
That as well.
Nice.
Team. We got to the same spot as well.
Oh,
We got through 2 rounds and then got to the final 100 or whatever.
yeah.
I imagine you were better than both of our teams. His.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, not yours. Don't worry, I didn't mean yours.
I was for a second thinking, oh, I don't know. Yeah,
No offense to all your teammates, but
yeah. It was. Yeah,
It was. I hated it.
yeah, me too.
Like I just thought the whole it was so scripted. It was so like,
I had
and we were used and abused.
I got asked to be the representative of our group, like the talker.
Yeah, I was as well.
Which, if you like me, I'd be fine with it. But I was 18 or 19.
Oh.
Dude, they put the camera on me. I was sweating. I couldn't get my words out. I was so nervous. And they were like, yeah, can you say it like this?
Yeah, that's the worst one.
I
Is
am-
when,
Can you say it again, but like say it facing this angle? I was like,
Okay.
yeah,
I
that's
dislocated my shoulder on,
that
on
is the
stage.
scariest thing. Just get your shoulder.
Yeah, dislocated on stage. There was like some floor where a bit and it popped out and then it popped back in as I got up. Good times.
Nice.
This is when before I had a shoulder operation. I used to dislocate every time I danced. It was great fun. And when I was so like on adrenaline, as I walked off, I said to Anne and Deck, I was like, my shoulder dislocated.
But they were like, huh? Yeah. Anything for BGC? Nah. But it's cool though.
I got asked on it a few years ago, would I want to go on there as a contestant? Probably like when I was like 25, just come back from LA. They're like, I was scouting people to go on. You know, like people ask you, like, I don't know, you probably get it. Maybe you do, like in Instagram, in your DMs, like talent scouts, they scout you for TV shows. Like I always get asked for like all the dating love shows.
Do you?
Yeah, all the time. Especially when I was in Dream Boys, I always get asked to do stuff. And it's always like dance ones.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, you can dance, this is cool.
Yeah.
And I was always like, why would I go on BGT as a contestant when I've been paid to dance on it?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was a dancer on it for an entire like 2-week stint, which helped me pay for my visa to go to LA. I'm not going to go on there now for free. Like, like as a soloist, what am I going to do? Like, this is some choreography.
Yeah, going as a soloist, that's hard.
Yeah, but I don't think it's hard when you have. Yes, it's hard. I didn't mean to say I don't think it's hard. It's very hard. But when you have a skill, like a skill set, like a technique, like as a incredible tap dancer, it's very different than going on and going, watch me do some choreo. Watch me do this routine, which is choreographed to be done as a 10.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's different as well because I think if you go on with a vision in your mind in terms of like, this is what I want to portray, rather than I'm just going to do this. Like every time I perform a solo, I try and not make it look like a routine I would teach someone or like someone I do in the studio. So try and add something different to it. I don't know what it is, but sometimes it just clicks. So if you go on with something that you want to portray, I think it's a lot different.
Yes, 100%.
Than if you're just going on as a dancer. Even if it's like, not a sob story, but if you're going on with something that you want to show or that you want to say or a message you want to get across or anything like that, it just gives you that little extra feeling. And sometimes it doesn't work and sometimes it does. It gives you that little added boost over people that just go on and do a routine.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a clue how to do a 3-minute solo.
Yeah, like
Make
that's
it
it's hard, man.
I just
Like-
don't think of dance that way.
no me either. My skill set is like, let's create a dope combo which feels nice to dance.
Yeah.
and
Well, it was
and it's musical.
let me bang out this musicality. Like,
Yeah.
that's as far
It was
as
one
I
of the
can
things.
get.
It was like learning on the job though, because I had no idea. I just wanted, it's like, oh, it'll be fun. And then I finished. So I had like Ricky over Zoom for the residency because he couldn't be there. So I had to Zoom him, which was funny. And it's like on TV and you just see him in his living room with like just talking to me. And I finished the piece in that week and we had to perform it at the end of the week and it was all right. Like I watch it back now and it wasn't very good. But it was a start. It's near enough the same, but it was just a start. And then I messaged him and I was like, oh, I might add a prop. I might add a chair. And he was like, cool, let's add a chair. And then already that took it to another level.
Why did you choose a chair?
Because my original idea was what we had in the piece. So it was, I walked on and there was a tunnel of light at the start. But that was going to stay there the whole time. There was always going to be a focus point in that corner and that was going to be the chair. So the chair was going to represent whatever it was that I was talking about. And it was literally just going to be pointless. It was just going to leave it there the whole time, to be honest. But it was just going to be there to dress the stage because I figured it would be a lot easier if I dressed the stage. And then I started working out some ideas with each other. I was like, oh, I could do something really cool with this. And then Ricky had the idea of like the backpack thing when I walked on at the start. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. It looked weird, but I was like, it's cool because it would drag people's attention.
Yeah, it definitely was like, why is there a chair on his back? Like it makes you question,
makes
makes you intrigued to see what's happening next.
Like I showed it to my granddad and he laughed. And I was like, that's not the reaction I wanted. But
Thanks, Bobs.
at least like, even he was intrigued by what was going on.
Yeah,
And
which is the pull.
I was watching like a How to Be a Filmmaker video yesterday, and I think they quoted, "Curiosity is currency." Because it makes it you want to go. Oh, so what does the chair mean?
Yeah.
Or what is like where are we going with this? And that's what keeps
I feel
your
that.
attention.
Yeah, so it was little like grabbing that at the start and doing that, and then even like, I'm really happy I worked with Ricky because he thinks about things way more than I do. And I like when I get into the mindset of working on a piece like this, I was thinking about what the meaning could be a lot, but he thought about it even more than I did. So like I threw the chair at the end, and I was just going to leave it, so that was going to be on the floor the whole time. And he turned around, it blew my mind, and it still blows my mind now because I would never have thought this. He went, why would you leave it on the floor if you're trying to leave it, but you don't want to leave it broken? So why don't you pick it back up? If you're going to leave, don't leave it on the floor broken. You still want to be a good person at the end of the day. You don't want to have any bad memories of this thing. You don't want your last memory to be it left be broken. I was like, mad. It blew my mind.
That's dope.
I never would have thought about that. And as soon as you said that, then every time I picked the chair back up, I was like, okay, this makes sense to me.
It made
now.
sense to you.
Yeah, and it was little things like that I would never have thought of. And if I was working on it on my own, it wouldn't have ever looked the way it was. But in terms of like the steps, obviously Ricky didn't choreograph the steps. Like there is a funny video of him like he's like following me around the studio trying to do the steps. It is really funny. But it's just the whole vision. And sometimes, even though I choreographed it, it's good to have an outside perspective.
Oh, definitely.
Like, so it's always helpful, and being open to having that perspective as well.
Did you ask a lot of different people going up to the finals, like for feedback on your choreo?
No.
Or did you keep it quite tight?
It was just him. He was the
Right.
only person. My mum didn't even see it.
That's what I was going to
until-
say. Do you use your mum as like...
I didn't really want to, and not in a bad way towards her. But-
Screw you, mum.
No, not even necessarily, but I don't know. It was just one of the things. But I think it's because it's more personal this time. So it's like you don't want to necessarily. I didn't want to show it off all the time, but also I didn't want her to get bored of it and start nitpicking it apart.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, she wasn't involved at all in the whole process. She only just sent me the email.
Yeah.
Where usually she like meets the whole team. She gets to help me do this and do that.
Because you were a kid in the past.
But this time, she only came to the final. So it was like that final was actually, for the first time in a while, was an opportunity for her to be able to sit there and relax and be like, he's got this. I haven't got to do anything. I haven't organised
Yeah, I
this.
bet. I wonder what it's like for her to sit and watch you, like, you know, dominate the field that she once dominated.
Well,
do you know what I
You
mean?
must be like so proud.
Dude, so proud. Like,
it's different though. Like if we was doing like world championships or something, because she's in charge, she's not looking at me as Kai. She's looking at me as a team
As a
member.
number, yeah.
So it's like, if I do something wrong, I'll get in trouble after.
Did
Do you
your
know what I
mum
mean?
cry watching the show?
Watching the final?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think she did. But that's cool. I don't mind that. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, that's such a bad question.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
No, like,
Did your mum love you?
no, but I know, like,
Sorry, Joe.
watching.
I'm never getting employed now.
I know the thing is, I wasn't really competing in that final, to be honest, because you
It's
can't,
just you versus
you can't
you sort of thing.
compare me.
but
like,
yeah, that's the hard thing, isn't it? It's like you're comparing you to someone who does Bollywood.
yeah, you can't compare.
Like,
me.
how do you compare it? Like, it's not like you
Was
go,
it a placed competition?
No, they just gave first.
Right.
Did they?
Did you come first?
No, I didn't win. But that's
Suck
like,
it up.
again, it's one of them.
he won best tap dancer.
Yeah, default. But but that's the thing. It was
Win's a win.
I hate competitions, which is weird because I've been to the World Championships about 7 times. But I really now I don't like them, and I just treat it as an opportunity to perform. And if I get rewarded for it, then cool. And if I don't, as long as I'm happy within myself. Do you know what I mean? It's, every time I perform, I try and better myself a little bit. Especially doing that piece, it was like, if I come out of there with like a feeling of pride, then that's all I need, because I created this piece at a place when I didn't really have that feeling. So I've achieved what I wanted to achieve.
Would it be fair to say your mindset is almost like your focus is just to do a good job, and then winning's like a byproduct of doing a good job?
Yeah, because I feel
I
like,
say winning,
I feel like I win if I am proud of myself.
Yeah.
Like, so if I then actually get given a trophy, it's like sweet. And obviously, it's nice to win a TV show, and it will look better on my CV, I guess, or whatever. But at the same time, like, I didn't enter the competition to compete,
Right.
if that makes sense. I just did it because
Why
I
did you
needed-
enter the competition?
It was like what I was saying. I had to get convinced to do it, and it was like, right, well, there's something not right. For some reason, I don't want to do it, and it's because more of my confidence more than anything. Because I hadn't done something in so long, and I felt like, right, if I do this, it gives me a boost, and I have to do something for it, because you can't pull out once you started it.
Right.
So it's like I
So it's
can't-
almost like strong arming yourself
yeah,
into...
and I used to perform every weekend. Like I did canny dances, I did like stuff for Tap a Tap, Move It. I used to do all of that. So it was like weird me being nervous to perform. And because it had been the Zoom kind of time, it had been 18 months since I performed. And then the first time I did it, obviously I felt so much better. And I was like, even doing the first audition, as soon as I did it, I was like, cool. I'm happy now. I've got myself past that point, but it's almost like the mental block. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's the main reason I did it, just to kind of get myself back to
Being
place
in
of
an
confidence.
uncomfortable
Yeah.
state, yeah.
So what's next?
Literally my next question as well.
Love Island.
4.
Love Island.
Isn't there like a Love Island for dancers? How did that go?
What Jaden, the one that Jaden was on.
Oh yeah.
That was
Yeah,
cool.
we spoke about it once on here.
Yeah,
I
I never
kept talking
watched
about the guy that was, jeez. I met him the other week. I worked with him. He's a lovely guy. But he always went, they just edited that. It always makes him go, jeez, in the first episode. And I was like, why do they keep showing him saying that thing?
I didn't know that.
Did you watch it?
Jaden was on. Yeah, I watched it because Jaden was on it.
Yeah, me too.
I thought it was funny.
It's not normally like the something I'd watch. I don't really watch anything to do with dance.
Yeah, it wasn't like when I saw the
Like I
trailer
watched
for
you
it.
and then I watched that. But otherwise dance shows, I never watch them. Got to Dance, don't watch it. Great to Dancer,
Yeah.
don't watch it.
I think if you know someone behind it though, it's a lot easier to watch.
Well, you're
because-
watching it to be supportive,
But also,
right?
like, you can ask me questions
Yeah.
about like what it's actually like, because you
Yeah.
feel like, was it actually like, even just saying about the producers and that, you saying, was it actually like that? Yeah, it was. It was 100% like that.
I mean, it's great to watch it as a work perspective, so we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
talk about it on here or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I really struggle to watch dance stuff because I know the reality of how TV works.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like even things like Britain's Got Talent or X Factor and stuff like that. Everyone's like Saturday night glued in to watch it when it was on, and I can't watch it. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because I've been behind the scenes
Yeah.
for X amount of years. Like I know the reality of.
And when you know people behind it as well, it's even like, obviously you competed on it, but then you also know people that have competed on it and they've got further, but they've had more things promised or whatever. It's like so many politics behind it. But yeah, that's what I was saying. Like going on these competitions or whatever. Like for me, it's just to have fun and you get what you want from it. For me, it was not winning, but it was just kind of getting to that place. What's the question? What's next?
Yeah, Love Island.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, I'm actually the new bombshell going in.
Let's go.
Yeah, I've been getting my tan on. As you can tell.
Got the fresh trim as well.
Yeah, it's because I'm
New
leaving tomorrow.
kicks. Shout out Chris Travers.
Yeah. Oh,
He gets
yeah.
mentioned a lot on this show, Chris
Chris
Travers.
Travers.
Yeah.
Just a disclaimer: I'm not flying out to Love Island tomorrow before I get sued. Just thought I'd say that.
Or is he?
Yeah, where am I? No, I'm not. Well, I'm doing an extra year at college, so because I just want to. I'm nearly where I want to be, but I'm not quite there yet.
I think that's smart.
Yeah, and obviously
It's like
Zoom.
cheap training, isn't it? Cheap
Yeah,
training.
I live in Swindon.
Wow.
Go to Wilkes.
Yeah.
It's easy for me, and I'm comfortable in that place. All the teachers are there that I love. That I would go to base to train with anyway.
Yeah, that's what when he said that to me, is smart. He's like, I'd only go to base to take the same teachers' classes and
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that, or pay to do the same people's classes.
Yeah, do your program.
You said like you're close to where you want to be. What's the focus for this next year of training?
Technique more than anything, I think.
Like, are we talking like jazz technique, or are we talking about like?
Because I feel like I could go in to do musical theatre, but I don't think I'm there just yet. But I need the technique more because obviously everyone thinks because I tap I'll be perfect in West End. But it's like, okay, well, I need to make sure I train myself. But at the same time, I'm focused on everything. I don't want to. I'm happy because I want to do everything, which I think is a good thing. I'm not like I'm only going to do commercial. I'm only going
Which
to
is, I think that's the dopest thing.
yeah. But it's because I started college at the same place with every dance style. I think I didn't come in, other than tap obviously, but I didn't come in being better at one thing than everyone else, or than everything else, sorry. So I've grown at the same pace with everything. So I still enjoy everything the same amount.
And he can sing too.
Can you sing?
Yeah, I try to.
So if we could hold you accountable
Yeah.
to something for the next year in one sentence, what would that be?
How accountable?
Like,
if you had to set yourself a target that you're going to reach, like,
yeah.
Oh,
and you
I'd-
had to say to me and Kane or the podcast, I didn't make this or I did make this by the end
To
of
be
your
fair,
next
I would
education
actually
year.
say my main goal is to figure out what I actually want to do first when I leave college, because I don't actually know that yet, which I think is a good thing. Well,
Yeah.
But if I figure it out within the next year, then I can set that goal.
I think
Or-
it's-
Do you feel you need to have a set focus to leave college? Like,
not yet, but I think to try and look for the first thing.
I think
hopefully
it
will.
depends. I think having something to work towards is great. Like if you're like, I want to be in this particular show, right? It helps you navigate your training. It
Yeah,
helps
yeah.
you go, that's what I want to reach that. These are the skills or the attributes I need to pick up along the way. This is how I do it to reach that place. But because it's you and you're already a very driven person, I think not knowing isn't a negative because you're still going to work hard
Yeah.
anyway.
that's where my mind is with that as well.
Okay.
It's like Do you
Because some
need to
people
limit
need
yourself?
it. Like we always say, like we talk about it a lot on here. Like I need a motivation.
Yeah.
Like if I don't have a motivation, like it's
You're not gonna
strokes.
do it.
But when I've got a motivation, like I'll fucking work every minute under the sun to reach that goal.
Like in my mind, are you good enough to do everything?
I wanna be.
Can you do the commercial? Can you do the MT?
I wanna
I
be,
say the
yeah.
commercial, as in like a commercial.
Yeah. No, I do want to be. So it's kind of like, it will be, especially this first time, I'll be getting everything that I can from there. And then it's, even if I figure out kind of what order I want to work things in when I leave, oh, this is what I'd like to do now and what I'd like to do in a year, and just kind of structuring, because I do like being organised. I don't like not knowing what's coming up. But at the same time, obviously, this industry, that's kind of impossible because you get something next week. But just so I can kind of have a rough plan in my mind about where I want to do. But I like the freedom at the same time. I like not knowing what I want to do, but I think it will help me as a person kind of figure it out at the same time.
Dream job.
Dream job.
Was that what you about to ask?
No, we'll keep going. I like it.
This is the Jake's podcast.
It's hard, right?
Host Kane
'Cause, like,
Silver.
I feel like I know so much about Kai.
Yeah,
To
fair.
be fair, we haven't actually spoke about a lot of this stuff.
No, that's why I'm interested.
Yeah.
Just listening. I'm like,
Dream job will be being hired as a tap dancer by a big artist to perform on tour.
Dope.
nice.
Like,
Has that been done?
Yeah. Beyonce had
yeah, she had who did
she
she
had
have?
Chloe.
Technically, yeah.
How would you like if you're? Would they attach microphones to your feet? Do you reckon?
Yeah, that's
Do
what we
they?
usually do. But
Like
the
a
only,
little
the
fucking
only
mic in
issue
your
I have
trousers.
with that, right, is obviously people go to a concert to listen to their music. They're not going to go to want to hear me tap over the top of it. That's the only reason why I think.
But if they have a
happen.
dance break,
Yeah, so they have to have loads of like.
Chloe did do Beyonce, right?
She did that video. So they did loads of stuff for what was her clothing line? Was it like Ivy Park or something? Like
Yeah.
that? They did all the promotional stuff for
Yeah.
that because they did the video to. What was the song? I can't remember, but it blew up. It got like 1 billion views.
We Run the World.
They did that one, and they did another one. Oh no, maybe it was that song.
I don't know.
And I think if anyone was to get it, it would be you. Because again, what we spoke about at the beginning of the episode, your unique approach
Yeah,
to tap, like you could easily do a Beyonce track,
I'd love
tap
to.
style. Do you know what I mean?
I'd love
Like
to.
I could so see you doing like a Chris Brown tap number.
Yeah, that'd be hard. Chris Brown's new album. We were talking about that.
That'd be
That'd
pretty
be
dope.
Dancer
So
Boy
good.
Smith, just tag him.
Oh, look at you. Someone's been doing their
I
dance
know.
homework.
And I can never pronounce his name. Anze Scrub.
Anze Scrubbe.
Yeah, that one.
Ange, in fact. Ange.
Anze, is that it?
Yeah, Ange.
But yeah,
Ponze.
I would say that's my goal, and then do that, and then choreograph, and get more people involved. I think that'd be-
Choreograph.
like so. Say if like Chris Brown,
Yeah. Tag him.
big shot, but we'll go for it.
Shoot for the stars.
Absolutely.
So if he like, they were like, we want one tap dancer, and then I do it, and he
And you
likes
push
me,
for 10.
get on with it, and then I say, well, if you're next door, why don't I choreograph it? Same,
That'd
I'll
be
do
dope.
it. Then you get 10 people.
And I'll get my mum involved.
Yeah, she'll come. Do you know what I mean? But it's like it's just progressing up like that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I do eventually want to choreograph, and I want to. It's big goals, but I do want to do like stuff for West End. So redo choreography for West End, or
Make tap more fun.
yeah. So it's not always the same.
So it's not just 42nd Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, like Matthew Bourne's obviously known for being Matthew Bourne and
Yeah.
doing his thing. If I can do that, do West End shows, but also then be able to produce my own stuff completely. Because I think there's a market there for it. No one ever taps into it, but the amount of tap
Ba-dum-bum.
companies there is in this world.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I
Nice.
didn't even think about that. But the amount of tap companies there are in this world, and you probably could only name Tap Attack.
Yeah.
There's so many amazing ones around the world. Like even the UK, there's like 2 or 3 I can think of. But in the world, and the ones that I've been able to show me, even like what Chloe does, hers is probably the most mainstream, Syncopated
Yeah, yeah.
Ladies. And then because of that, she was able to do the James Corden show for like 5 years, which is amazing. And
Yeah,
she
dope.
got tap dancers into, like, you know, the crosswalk things they do, the musical ones where
Yeah.
she got tap dancers into there. So they were always tap dancers that were the main dancers.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't tap. So it's like, it's just trying to be. I think what like she's done in particular is so cool because it's still true to the origins of tap, but it's made it mainstream,
Yeah.
and it's managed to attract a whole new audience, which is why she is now so popular in America in the dance culture. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you were to put your first foot forward towards being a Chris Brown backing dancer, what would that first step look like? I've
Probably
gone into full life coach mode now.
Yeah. No, I would say like for any job that similarity, finding the right person to contact first, and just it's just kind of planting the seeds. Like
Be in the room with them.
yeah,
That's the first seed.
yeah. It's like even
Dancer Boy Smith, go to his class.
Yeah.
yeah,
You're going to LA, bro.
and then do you know what I mean? Yeah,
I think
I'd
he's
love
LA,
to.
isn't he? Yeah.
Just like go and do a class, say to him after, have you ever seen a tap dance to Chris
Tap
Brown?
dance to another.
Do you want to? And he's like, yeah.
Let's film a video,
Yeah,
bro. Let's tag
watch
him in
this
it.
video.
That's what I mean. But it's little. That's what you need to do. I think it's just
Me, you, next weekend, we're going to film filming a
no.
video.
Yeah, I'll make some choreo. But I think that's with anything. I'm quite good at, like, I'm a really socially awkward person. Unless if I know the people. But I'm really good at networking. Do you know what I mean? Like, I kind
Wait,
of...
what?
It's awkward. So, like, I can't remember whose class. I was at a class at base. I'd never met the teacher before. But I wanted to go speak to him. And I was in the corner after. And I was with... I can't remember who I was with someone. And I was like... Gonna go and introduce myself now. And I sounded so deflated by it. But I was like, I'm just gonna go have to say hi. But because I'm genuinely interested by it, I don't like speaking to people necessarily.
But they can probably feel how sincere it is, as
Yeah.
opposed to it's not kissing ass. It's like you actually want
You're
to.
genuine.
Yeah, so then I'll go up and
you're not doing it
speak
to
to these
network.
people.
You're doing it to actually be like, I really respect you.
Yeah,
What's
and
up?
that's the cool thing. Like I said, I've been to America quite a lot when I was younger, but because I introduced myself to all these amazing people, because I travelled that far, so of course I wasn't going to not speak to them. Do you know what I mean? I've travelled 9 hours, and I'm only ever going to get 3 weeks a year in America because I can't stay out there. So in my 3 weeks, I've got to make up for the other 49 I'm going to miss. In my mind,
That's a sick sentence.
and even though like I was only young, I would introduce myself to those people, and then if they came to England, they would always come to Tap Attack because they've met me and they've met my mum. So then they'd do that, and then it's just a lot easier to go and know you're going to see these people specifically. I'm going to take class with these people. I know them. I'm comfortable with them. They teach me a lot, and it's stuff like that. And obviously, I haven't been able to go for years, which I am really sad about. But I will be there soon, and I still keep in contact with the people that I was close with before. So it kind of shows that the connections I built were actually genuine. If they don't see me for 3 years, but they're still interested in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's dope, man.
Yeah, man.
You're so grown.
Yeah.
So
Like, you're so mature. That's why we rate you. And that's why you are officially our first sponsored dancer.
my next conversation switch.
Yeah.
You're officially our first sponsored dancer.
And you're our
Thank you so
clickbait
much.
title for today as well.
What's that?
First sponsored dancer.
So are we talking about that?
No, just this
Oh,
is
is that
it.
it?
You're
Cool.
sponsored. You're announced to the world. You're
Sweet.
officially our first sponsored athlete or dancer, whatever you
I'll
want to
say,
call
I'll
it.
say athlete.
Athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got athletic ankles.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, man.
I'm excited. Hopefully
We're excited.
we can
Make some
do something
magic.
special, yeah.
100%. Expect lots of dope content, dope videos.
Yep.
Be pushing. Have you on here more.
Yeah, we can create a new section of the podcast.
Yeah.
Don't know what it'll be yet, but I'll think of it.
Don't know. We'll tap into it.
Oh.
It's already been done once. No, I'm not didn't sing you.
I used it differently. Idiot.
Half a point.
Yeah, half
Half a
I'll take
point.
half a point.
Okay.
Anything.
I'll give you another half.
Thanks. Yes, whole point.
There we are.
Gold star.
Winning.
Yeah, man, we're excited.
Yeah, really excited.
Obviously, it's something like we've wanted to do for ages, but it was just timing and waiting for the right moment. And
Yeah, we literally said this about 6 months ago. Literally like 6 months ago.
but we think you represent yourself in such an incredible way, and we want you to represent us, and we want to also represent you. Like we want to help you reach your goals in whatever way we can, either whether it's like you need
Life
footage,
coaching questions
life
on
coaching
podcast.
questions,
public
critique,
audience.
learning how to carry a chair on your back. We can get Ricky in. Nah, man, we just want to help you. So even if it's, advice or
Yeah.
help me get in contact with these people or videos.
No, I'm
Anything.
super excited, especially because
Show reels, all of it.
yeah, we've worked obviously
Yeah, together.
since the start of college. I've met you, and then you came in and we're doing the programs with Kane. So we've all I've done how many programs now? Quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm happy, and obviously, if you don't know about the programs, come to whenever we do the next
He's
one.
already doing it.
Yeah,
nice.
see my marketing.
Good boy.
Well trained.
No, but seriously, obviously,
It is a
it's a-
dope training
yeah.
program. I'm just saying.
it's a
Um,
thing to be involved with.
Hey, speaking of dope training, did you see Ella Simpson's video she posted
I
this
did,
week
yeah.
of her in Randall's class?
It was hard.
Have you seen it?
I saw you post it. I need to click on it still.
Like, I'm not taking all the credit for that.
You're taking some of it.
But I'm taking some of it. Like, I'm 100% taking some of it.
No, I
like,
literally remember.
she's taking all the credit for it.
Yeah.
Because
She
she's
should
put
do
in the
that.
work. But like, man, what a change.
I remember in your
dancer.
class, do you remember that routine that you taught that I couldn't do at all? And you came up to me and went, look at Ella. And I watched her.
Which one was it?
What's that song? Remember, what's AM to PM? That song?
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
Oh, yeah. Somebody hit the lights.
Yeah, I can't do that routine. I remember I was.
It's quite hard, actually. It's only 4/8.
I was stressed.
Yeah, I didn't teach it. I made
Another
it.
pro.
No, I made it up for college.
I was stressed.
It's only 4/8, but it's a lot.
Yeah, but I remember you said to me in that class.
I was like, look at Ella. Like, she roasted. And that was the first time I was like, she's changing.
It's good though.
Confidence. Shout out to Ella.
Yeah, shout out Ella.
Dope. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to Wilkes Academy. Shout out
Yeah.
to all my lovely students at the program. I love you all.
Yeah.
It's emotional.
Get all them
Hey,
shout-outs out.
I cried at the end of the Wilkes end year show.
Did you?
Yeah.
When?
Well, actually, I know this. You said
I
this
cried
last
at the
podcast.
beginning when Elle come out and did the Ricky's thing.
Okay.
Because I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to teach her anymore. And then in the end, the finale, when you and her both sang, I was all teary and shit.
Aw.
I was all proud.
Do you not cry when I was dressed as a geek?
No.
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 Yeah.
I was more, it was the shock value of seeing you sing.
That's the
Like-
thing, because you spoke to me about singing.
Yeah, well,
Like-
I got told through the staff, through the grapevine, like, Kai's a really good singer. And I went up to him, I was like, you sing, yeah? And he's like, a little bit. And I was like, I'm going to make you sing. He's like, I don't sing. Twos, end of your show, singing. And then at his graduation, walking around like Stevie Wonder with sunglasses on. I went, oh, you, Stevie, why you got glasses on? He went, you'll see. Twos, gets on stage, sings Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
And I was in the front row,
Yeah, it was 2 step of my life away.
drunk, like this.
So I was on the stage drunk.
Ooh, let's go.
Which song?
Superstition.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yo, I can't imagine you. Don't take this the wrong way. I can't imagine you singing.
No, it's fine.
I really want to see a video now.
Yeah.
There is one.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah.
Send it to me.
I think the thing is obviously because of, I always say because of COVID, but because we didn't get the opportunities to sing throughout, like since the start of first year to third year.
Or perform.
Yeah, that was the first time we'd ever performed. So in first year, like right at the start, I was asked to sing a lot, and then we never had to because of we never was in college. So then when it got to third year, and someone was like, "Oh, do you want to sing this part?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then that's kind of how it happened. Do you know what I mean?
So sick. They'd be like to me, do you want to sing it? But nope.
Yeah.
Not at all. I'll do a rap though.
Of course you will.
Buzz.
But yeah, no, I enjoy it. So it's just another thing I can kind of add to my.
Yeah.
Skill
You
set.
can be the artist that you tap dance for.
I could do both.
You are the Kai Scanlan.
Yo, that's the next thing. Tapping
sing.
and singing.
That'd be
At
lit.
the same
To a Chris Brown
time.
number.
That'd
with
be
Kane in the
hot.
background.
Yeah. I'll be the guy in the background going.
Kane's like wannabe ludicrous.
Just, I'll be this guy. Yo.
Yo. Yeah.
Come on. Come on now.
It's the hype man with the ad libs.
Yeah. Let's go. It's the Kai
You're
Scanlan.
the guy who repeats every fifth word. It's
Yeah. I said I love you. Won't you
Oh,
be
man.
my girl? Girl.
Like, yeah, no.
See, I'm ready. What are you going to do? Film it.
I'm going to film it, bro.
Fair play.
I'm going to do the lighting. I'm moving into the smoke machine.
Yeah.
Get a smoke machine.
Kai's not seen his smoke machine.
Do you know what? I've used it once.
For me.
For you. No, twice. Once for Nina as well. It's because it just sets the alarms off, so I just can't be asked for it anymore.
Oh, guys, this was cute. This
I
was
loved
fun.
it. Good episode.
Yeah, good times.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Love. Thanks for coming. Love.
Let's go fast.
Subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and anywhere else you can find a podcast. I believe we're on Amazon too.
We everywhere, baby.
Follow us on Instagram at
The Ins and Outs podcast. Yeah, see?
my guy. I meant you to say yours, but I'm well glad you
I
said
thought you
ours
meant yours.
first.
You said follow us.
Yeah.
Follow us.
Yeah.
Group.
Yeah, what's
Yeah,
your
so
Instagram?
follow us
What's your
Instagram.
Instagram?
Kai Scanlan _
Gibson_media_.
And at Mr. Bow Change.
Chicka-choo.
Wow, chicka, pow, wow. Kai, do you want to give us like a fade out?
Yeah, good at that.
Okay. Oh, hard. There we go.
Don't.